Cajun slash upscale bar.
Mm-hmm.
They had a big Monet print behind the bar, and they had the chimney, the fireplace had a little balcony on the top of it, and they put the musicians up there. And I played there every Tuesday night. I don't know what I told my parents I was doing, but I was a freshman in high school, and I think I lied and said I was at Bible study or something.
Oh my God. Hello, people of the world. Welcome back to another episode of Sam Sessions. Back here in the acoustic A room of South Austin Music as always, and a very, very special day to my right. Got a good friend, Robert A. Kraft. How you doing, Robert?
I'm good. How are you, Seth?
Doing pretty good, man. Super, super excited to have you back here. Get to know a little bit more about you. I was getting ready for this, and one of the first things I saw that really popped out to me, I always find this interesting. You started playing in clubs around Dallas as young as age 15.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's insane. So there's a lot of questions with that. The first thing is, like, what got you into music so early on that you were ready to start playing clubs at age 15?
Well, of course, I probably wasn't really ready
Okay.
at age 15.
Okay.
But, when you're 15, you think you're ready.
Of course.
And I just was able to kind of BS my way into some gigs. I played at a place called Andrews on kind of near the downtown area on Hall Street, and it was kind of a bistro, Cajun slash upscale bar.
Mm-hmm.
They had with my guitar in the car.
That's so rock and roll.
Well, it's kind of rock and roll. I was playing like James Taylor and Gordon Lightfoot, and then my James Taylor and Gordon Lightfoot influenced originals, and some kind of soul influenced originals, because I was listening to a lot of KKDA Soul 73 back then.
Right.
In Dallas. It was an AM station that played all the golden oldies of soul and some modern stuff. So I was listening to Stevie Wonder and all those guys, and that all, I think, kind of crept in. But yeah, I was 15, and the thing that and music really made me feel connected in a way that I did not get from like my family and friends. Well, I did from my friends, but I shouldn't diss them or my family, because everybody's just doing their best,
Yeah, for sure.
And I started playing and at my church, and started feeling that was kind of a service that you were doing for people, giving them an outlet and a release by listening to music. And I just kind of thought that'd be a good way to a good way to bring something good into the world that I wanted to be a part of. So I started going around to clubs, and I looked a little bit older. So I would like sit, sometimes I go into bars and I could drink, because it was like the drinking age was 18 back then.
Yeah.
I'd be like, with my kind of little boy mustache, and say, "My good fellow, could I get an Irish coffee, please?" And I'd sit there sipping a giant Irish coffee with whipped cream on top, listening to bands play and listening to like these solo acoustic artists. And there was that was back in the day of Poor David's Pub. And and Deep Ellum was just kind of starting to open up. It was mostly like tire stores and liquor stores back then. And so I kind of went around, and I was like, well, I want to do this. So I just learned a bunch of songs.
Yeah.
And I have no idea if I was any good or not. People paid me and tipped me, and they liked it apparently. But
man, I gotta say, I respect the shit out of that. I mean, the whole thing, the dedication at such an early age to, I'm going to Bible study, and then sleeping in the parking lot with your guitar. I mean, that's
the lying.
incredible.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you gotta do what you have to do. But no, that's really incredible, and to have that dedication at such an early age, that's pretty great. Have you been able to maintain that dedication throughout the career?
No, I slip in and out. One of the reasons I'm not more well known in Austin is because I would like be in a band or in a movement of music. Like I was a tango singer for a while and a jazz singer. And then I would just get fed up with there's something about the music business that is at odds with those initial pure motivations that I had as a kid to get into music. And I various times in my career, I would get to a place where I'd feel all of that was just being crushed out of me. And I didn't want to do the music anymore. I didn't want to be in that environment. So I would quit and like go manage a chicken farm, or I was a bounty hunter for a while, just like get out. And then I went back to school, went to college, got an English degree. And then I'd fall back into it. And so I was very inconsistent in my career and my dedication to music as a career, but I always played music.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just sitting in the woods by myself with my guitar, I was still doing music. This is called I Want to Show You. When the last light of the day turns to blue and fades away, I wanna call you, I wanna tell you, I wanna show you. When the night wind softly sings on silken shadow wings, I wanna call you, I wanna tell you, I wanna show you. Wanna show you what the sunbeams do, share all the pretty things with no one else but you. And even though it can't be so, I wanna show you. Wanna show you how the whippoorwill calls to the flower moon from my windowsill. And even though it can't be so, I wanna show you. I wanna show you. I wanna call you. I wanna tell you. Wanna show you what the sunbeams do, share all the pretty things with no one else but you. And even though it can't be so, I
We're here to talk about your music, and we're definitely going to do that. But bounty hunter?
yes.
I thought I didn't. That's a real thing. You can
Yeah,
do that?
I was technically a fugitive recovery investigator.
What?
I was a private investigator, and I worked with bondsmen around
Yeah.
Austin. And what happens is, you get arrested, the judge sets your bond, the bondsman pays your bond for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you pay them a premium, a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't show up for your court date. The court keeps the bondsman's money. The bondsman sends me and my weird little French partner out to go find you and arrest you and bring you back to jail. And then the bondsman gets all their money back.
It sounds like a movie. That's insane.
It is a lot of movies, but it's very boring work.
Really?
There's a lot of
interesting.
movies about it, and it's kind of glamorized, but oh my God, I kind of fell into it through some other things.
Yeah.
And it's very boring.
Well,
And
I have
occasionally dangerous, but
Sure. I have to say though, a lot of times, like, when you're writing songs, you have to pull from real life experiences. It seems like you've done a great job of finding real life experiences to get inspiration from.
well, yeah.
So in that way, you can say, "Oh, I was dedicated the whole time. I was just looking for inspiration."
Okay, I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel much better about my entire life, actually.
That's
good.
I'm glad we could get there together.
It was all moving in a direction
Exactly.
instead
Everything-
of just being a bunch of random BS that I was.
You were just
doing.
looking for inspiration.
Yeah,
You
I
had to
guess
do
so.
it, right? It's interesting. So you started in Dallas, and then of course you're playing all over Austin and doing a bunch of Austin stuff.
I left. I went up to Colorado for a while and out to California, and I ended up in a band out in California called The Ken, and it was just such a pay-to-play scene out there. Do you remember those days where they would like you couldn't get a gig unless you guaranteed ticket sales on it? And
Oh, interesting.
the big final straw was we were supposed to open for Chris Isaacs on like a New Year's Eve gig.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted us to guarantee something like $3,000 worth of ticket sales. And there's no way we were going to sell that many tickets. And it was going to have to come out of our pocket. And we felt like we were, spitting in the wind trying to get our career. And we had this great band. We'd gone in the studio and made a record, and we were getting some spins back in the day of actual radio. And I was dating a girl who lived here, and I'd come here once a month and hang out with her. And I just saw that this was back then, 1988, a very raw, open music scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked the band into moving here, and we immediately were gigging. A nicer way to say that. We weren't great. We were good, potentially sounded great in the studio, not a great live performance band.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted us to get out there in clubs and just woodshed. And we did. We became a pretty tight outfit playing kind of a grunge thing. I mean, we would like go up and play at Deep Ellum, and the band that would come after us would be like this band called Soundgarden that nobody had heard of.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And a friend of mine years later reminded me of that. Do you remember you guys were like on the bill with Soundgarden at not Trees, Club Clearview in Dallas?
No
It was
shit.
before anybody knew who they were. And Blues Traveler. So we
Yeah.
were that's the style of music we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then our guitarist died of a heart attack the day we got signed to a little independent label. And that's another time when I just took a break. I tried for a little while with another guitarist and then just blew it off and went back to college.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so I was 1988 and I didn't really start playing. 1991 was when Neil passed away, and I didn't really start playing again until 1996 when Glover Gill and I started doing the jazz piano vocal duets
Mm-hmm.
at Cedar Street and the Driscoll and all those places. Yeah.
So how do you find yourself in Bastrop now? Because you were living in Austin for a while and then went from Austin to Bastrop, correct?
Yeah, in 2011. Well, I was one of the first people to realize I was never going to be able to afford to buy a house in Austin. So, because there's just no way. It was,
Yeah, it's
even
insane.
back then, 2010, 2011, the real estate was just way out of reach.
Mhm.
And I wanted a little bit of property, and I wanted to maybe have some goats and chickens. And
Yeah.
I found a place out near Bastrop, near a town called Page
Mm-hmm.
in Bastrop County. And I bought it and was kind of turning it into a little hobby farm, and it promptly all burned down in those big fires back in 2011.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I made some lemonade out of those lemons, and I found this old house up in Mahia, Texas, and I moved that onto the property. And I spent 4 years living in a trailer, renovating that house. And now it's a beautiful old American craftsman house on 5 acres with a big wraparound porch and a recording studio in the back. And I had goats for a while. I had chickens for a while. Now it's me and 2 rabbits and a cat living in the house. It sounds real sad when I say it like that.
It's badass. I was about to say it's the sweetest lemonade I could ever taste. That thing.
Okay, all right.
It's happy ending. It sounds like to
Yeah,
me.
I just depressed myself. But, all right.
We're gonna bring it back up, and
Okay.
we'll go back down again,
All
and
right.
we'll get back up. We're gonna go through the whole thing.
That's called dynamics.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a song called Easy. It's going to be on the next record, actually, coming out May 31st. Hang on one second. Professional side thing. Oh, yeah. Sometimes being a singer is just disgusting. It's like, leave that in. All right, let's try it. This is called Easy. Light the candle, pour the wine. Lay your body close to mine. Let me listen to you breathe. Baby, you don't have to leave. Don't give a damn about being right. Don't wanna waste this precious night. Don't wanna go another round. All I wanna do is lay you down. Can we be easy? Can we be kind? Ain't love supposed to be a place to rest a troubled, weary mind? Can we be easy? Can we be easy? I guess there's nothing left to say, but I was hoping you would stay. Don't wanna make a final stand. All I wanna do is hold your hand. Can we be easy? Can we be warm? Ain't love supposed to be a secret place to shelter from the storm? Can we be easy? Can we be easy? Ooh, easy. Ooh, easy.
So you've been in Bastrop for a little while now. You've been doing something extremely, extremely cool out there for at least the past year at the Bastrop Live Music Foundation.
Yep.
Curious if you want to talk a little bit about that and what you guys do and how it started.
Okay. It started with after the pandemic. I got cancer, and I spent a little time after surgery. I'm fine now, but I had surgery and I was kind of recovering on my own in that big empty house, staring up at the ceiling. I was kind of trying to think about like, what are the important things I've done with my life that like meant anything to anyone? And I kept coming back to music and how healing music can be, and how important it is to have like a community, and for musicians to have community, and for even like our town to have some kind of a music scene, and all the things that go with that, all the good things. And because a lot of these small towns the touring acts don't come there because they don't have any venues. The venues don't really have a lot of money to pay for anybody other than a couple of the local bands who will play for almost nothing. So I came up with this idea that if we started a nonprofit that collected funds from the community and from local businesses, and then we would go to the venues and say, we've got these artists that are going to play in your venue. We're going to pay them. We're going to bring in the sound team. We're going to do everything. And you guys are going to get this cool show in your venue. And the community will get the benefit of having great music to listen to without having to drive into Austin. So that was kind of the original idea. And we've put on like 40 shows, I think, in the last year.
Wow.
Some are local artists who don't really ever get paid for what they do. And so we're able to pay them a living wage. Some of them are bigger name artists like Brennan Lee came out last year, James McMurtry, Rosie Flores, Monty Warden, Ray Prim
Wow.
did a beautiful songwriter showcase with us. And these are people who never would have ended up playing in Bastrop because there's no infrastructure there. So our organization does that. The other thing we're doing is we started a program called Gear for Good, which seeks out needs in the community, kids that need musical instruments, clubs that need sound equipment, whatever we need in our community to make a music scene. And we take donated equipment and give it to the clubs. Last week, we were able to give a beautiful Williams Allegro 2 keyboard to a kid who has been taking piano lessons. She's a great pianist, doesn't have a practice instrument, and her parents can't afford one. So we were able to surprise her at her piano lesson with a brand new keyboard for free. And that's all because of donations from the community. So there's the Gear for Good program. We also have a mentorship program that's similar to what Anthropos Arts does, where we pair a kid who plays an instrument, wants to pursue a career or go to college and study music, but the big gatekeeper for that is private instruction. Without private lessons, it's really hard for kids to get to the level that they want to get to go to college or pursue it as a career. And that's a financial impediment, obviously. So we find kids who have the potential, have the skill on their instrument and the dedication, but whose families don't have the resources to get them private lessons. And we pair them with teachers and mentors. It's a little bit more than just a teacher-student relationship. They mentor the kids, and we pay them whatever their rate is, whatever the teacher's rate is. That's what they get paid. So we're not the charity, if you will, is going to the student from the foundation. The teachers are getting paid their asking rate.
Man, what an amazing thing you've built. That's so. Where do people go to donate? And is there an Instagram or anything like that?
Yeah, we follow us on Instagram, Bastrop Live Music Foundation, and then BastropLiveMusicFoundation.org is our website, and you can donate there. I have to say, I have a great board of directors. They're almost all musicians.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we get stuff done.
Yeah.
There's no bureaucracy. Everybody knows exactly how everything works. We've got Phil Hurley, Ben Zuniga, Daniel Duclue, Casey Duclue, Maddie Eden, Perry Lowe. These are all people who, like, without their help, I never could have gotten this thing off the ground.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. I love to hear stuff like that. That's yeah, a lot of lemonade coming from lemons for sure. Definitely. I would say so.
Kind of my philosophy, I think.
Yeah, that's good. Another thing I wanted to bring up, I know you got a record coming out. That's the 31st of this month.
That's right, correct? May 31st.
How are you feeling? Are you excited?
I am. I'm starting to get, you know how when you work on a record, it's like by the time you're done with mixing, you don't ever want to hear those songs again. It's just like, I'm so over it. I can't stand the sound of my voice.
Yeah.
That bass line that I wrote, the bass player never played it right, and all the little details, and that's what you're hearing when you're listening to it. I give it about 2 months to 3 months of not listening to it, and then I go back and I can hear kind of the gestalt of the recordings instead of the little tiny details. And then just hit that point like last week. I was listening, just did a listen through of the masters, and I was like, okay. All right, it's good.
Yeah,
it's gonna work. Yeah, and so I'm starting to get excited about the songs again.
We just heard a live performance of one of the songs off the new record, and I thought it was incredible.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm super excited to hear that full thing released.
Thanks, man.
Seems like it's going to be great. Do you have any shows lined up to showcase some of those songs coming up?
I kind of fell out of the live performance thing after the pandemic, and I've not really gotten back into it. So I'm just now starting to get back out with a band, which will be interesting. I've been doing solo acoustic shows.
Yeah, and the band, is that the Robert Kraft trio?
No, it's called Robert A. Kraft. It just goes by my name.
Okay.
And then I'm doing solo acoustic shows. I'm also playing at Old Pal in Lockhart, August 15th. And I'm doing a song swap with Kate Howard at New World Deli on the 20th of June.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
Those are my live show dates coming up.
And then kind of just a little walk down memory lane here. I know you had a really long residency at Continental Club. That's an iconic spot here in Austin. I'm curious how long you were doing that for and some of the highs and lows of that situation.
That was great. I mean, Steve Wertheimer is like the most generous club booker in the world, a
Yeah.
club owner, because I knew him from my days of playing with Glover Gill and Tosca the Tango Orchestra, and I just kind of came back to I went and worked on a chicken farm and disappeared off the face of the earth for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back and like walked up to Steve and said, "I'm playing music again. Give me a gig." And he was like, "All right, we'll see what we can do," in his laconic way.
Yeah.
And he called me and said, "Hey, you want to take a Thursday residency?" And I was like, "Holy crap. Okay." So I got the band together. It was JD Penley, Lindsey Green, me, the Robert Kraft trio.
Mm-hmm.
And we started playing Thursdays, and we got moved to Fridays, and it was like playing to like 2 or 3 people for a while. And then slowly it started to build.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of 8 years,
Oh my
we were
gosh.
packing the house every night.
Yeah.
And we had dancers, and it was like a thing. It was really cool. And there were really no low points, because if I'm up there singing, I'm happy.
Right.
If there's 2 people listening, that's, a gift.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to play to like have a line out the door, because the fire marshal came in and said, "You got too many people in here."
No
That's
shit.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I love playing with those guys, great players. And we did this weird kind of, it was the trio was guitar, bass, upright bass, and voice. And that was a lot of heavy instrumentation and orchestration on the part of the guitar player, JD Penley, which he was awesome at.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a really unique sounding band, because we were doing everything from old jazz standards to Marvin Gaye and Bill Withers tunes to my original stuff. And it was all in this 3-piece orchestration, with the voice being 1 piece.
Wow.
So yeah, we did that, and then stopped doing that around 2018. And I kind of started doing solo acoustic stuff. And then we had a residency at Seaboys for a while with my new full band. And we were doing mostly my originals, the kind of stuff that's on the next record and on the last record, which is, I call it original vintage soul,
Okay.
because it's all influenced by, it's original tunes influenced by the old soul tunes that I listened to when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pandemic hit, and the residency was obviously over, and kind of lost touch with a lot of people, and like I don't know any of the bookers anymore. So I've slowly been kind of getting back out and trying to get I've got a new band: Phil Hurley, Davey Michelle, Perry Lowe, and Alexander Nobles, if he can make it, or Jay Styles on keys.
Yeah.
And we're playing a lot of mostly my original stuff now, with some covers thrown in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that residency at the Continental Club Gallery was a springboard for me to get out of like the tango jazz singing world back into more mainstream kind of pop stuff. So I really
Interesting.
appreciate it. And Wertheimer like stuck it out with us for 8 years. So all gratitude to the man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Man, Robert A. Kraft, beautiful soul, fucking hilarious.
Thanks, man. Back at
Full
you.
of talent, dude.
Thank you,
This is great. Thank you so much for sitting down and doing it with us.
Well, thanks for having
Seriously,
me.
that was awesome.
It was
Thank
a real
you.
honor. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Do this is a song called Wonder off of my record North Bishop Avenue. Would it still take my breath, your touch on my skin, and the moon in your eyes? Would you dream in my arms? Would we twine in the dawn under tangerine skies? Would you still flow through me? Breath, blood, heartbeat to me. Don't you wonder? Don't you wonder? Don't you wonder? Don't you wonder? Would it still like your smile when I'm acting a fool and I'm trying to dance. Would I still steal a kiss? Would you laugh that I think that I have half a chance? When the storm clouds fill me, would your warm hand steal me? Don't you wonder? Don't you wonder? Don't you wonder? Don't you wonder? Don't you wonder if we could have been? Wonder if we should have been something beautiful? 'Cause there's never been a single day that's gone by when I didn't wonder. And every night I have a dream, the same foolish dream, and it's beautiful. And every night it makes me ache, and every time I wake